Hey y'all, it's Susan from the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, here for episode 3 of Homestead Happenings. I hope you are enjoying the podcast so far, so pull up a chair. You can listen in or you can watch. Our podcast today is about So You Want to Be a Homesteader. We'll get into that in just a moment. I'd like to invite you to become a channel friend. Hit those bells. On my channel, you will find real homestead life on our 1.5 acre land. We do gardening, canning, preserving, raise chickens, turkeys, and ducks. Oh, we are in West Tennessee. So much is happening here. I also have a channel membership that starts out at just 99 cents. There's 3 levels to choose from. You can cancel at any time or continue to help support my channel with automatic monthly renewals. The choice is yours. This is the last month for my open collaboration, Garden 25, Sow It, Grow It. I would like to thank all of the wonderful content creators who joined in or tuned in. Let's get into the podcast. So you want to be a homesteader. My husband and I both wanted to escape city living. We both thrived in the country. We had a couple of choices to make: where to homestead and what could we afford. We looked first in the mountains of Arkansas but couldn't find a property that was in our price range. Our next choice was West Tennessee or Middle Tennessee. After looking at some really run down and right down unlivable properties, we found our place. It was close to a city, but in the country enough for us. It was also the right place. Location, location, location. We found our home, and it was near a state park too. It meant no neighbors too close, but we do have 2 very good neighbors. The property wasn't as big as we had planned on, but it was enough for us to handle. The house was a double-wide mobile home. It needed work just to move in. It was a repo property, so we got it for a great price. The bones of our mobile home was in good shape, but it needed flooring, a new AC unit, new doors and windows, which it still needs, cabinets, and plumbing fixtures in both bathrooms. It was a start. We had to put in a lot of sweat equity into our home and property, and we continue to do so today. So basically, we started with where to live. Next would come chickens, and later ducks and turkeys. Today, I want to share some pros and cons of homesteading. Why homesteading? Well, being self-sufficient and independent, eating healthier food, you know what you eat and how it was raised, as an investment, slower lifestyle, slower paced living, traditions, and nature. Common misconceptions are: you don't need 20 acres to start a homestead. You can homestead on a small space. It's not instant, and self-sufficiency skills take time. Not always cheaper. Sometimes it's all about the quality and values. Here's some pros: self-sufficiency and freedom. Reduced dependency on external systems like grocery stores, excessive use of utilities, and commercial systems. You have more control over your self-gratification because you do everything yourself. Homesteading gives a sense of security because most likely you own your property unless you are renting it. You are more secure when disaster strikes or economic crisis comes. Some homesteaders do maintain outside jobs. Some are totally free of debt and choose to be self-sustaining. Improved health and well-being. By growing and preserving your own food, you control what you grow, how you grow it, how you preserve it, and you know all of the ingredients. Mental health benefits come from gardening and raising your own animals. There's physical labor invested in putting food on the table for you and your family, and it's gratifying. You spend more time outdoors connecting with nature. This reduces stress and improves your mood. The long-term financial savings include grocery costs. While the initial cost may be higher, homesteading can and does lead to a significant savings in groceries because you eat what you grow. Your surplus foods can also be sold or bartered. You develop skills. You find growth for an acquired skill, and homesteading is a lifelong challenge to learn and do for yourself. You become more proficient in problem solving, and you develop a good work ethic because you work for yourself. The environmental footprint reduces carbon footprint associated with commercial food supply chains. Self-sustainable practices, learning to compost, organic gardening, collecting rainwater, all contribute to a healthier planet. You gain a profound appreciation for your efforts and resources that go into putting food on your plate. You become more in tune with nature and the seasons, the weather, and the rhythms of life. You build family-centered activities that teach your children valuable life lessons and a strong work ethic. You can connect with other homesteaders in your community and share resources and knowledge. Reasons not to homestead. It's a demanding lifestyle with its own set of challenges. Working a homestead is 24/7. The animals need to be fed and watered daily, no matter what the weather is. Not to mention milking if you own goats or cows. Gardening is labor intensive. Preserving food takes time. Property must be well maintained. Your house may have issues that need immediate attention. There are no vacations if you own livestock. Animals and gardens need daily care. The financial investment is high up on the front end. Purchase of land, tools, equipment, and livestock. Building essentials, infrastructure like barns, fences, and coops can add up very quickly. Unforeseen expenses. Equipment breakdowns. Animals get sick, storm damage, and replacing plumbing or roofing. Lack of a steady income like selling eggs. You won't get rich. The learning curve and mistakes you have to learn, new skills, and think for yourself. Loss and disappointment. Animals die, there are pests, weather. It all can take a toll on your wallet. Loneliness. Homesteading can be very isolating. Lack of social interaction and community can lead to anxiety and depression. Regulatory and logistical challenges. Zoning laws and limited access to resources, reliable internet connection, or even local deliveries, unreliable cell service can be tough to live with. There's more, but I will save that for another podcast. Don't want to depress you too much. Lots of laughs. Questions to ask yourself before deciding to homestead. How much time do you really have to invest in a homestead? Number 2, where will I homestead? Will it be a small balcony, a backyard, a small or large acreage? Number 3, what's my budget? What can I afford up front? Number 4, am I willing to learn new skills? Number 5, are you ready to fail and try again and grow? There are plenty more questions to ask yourself before jumping into the homesteading lifestyle. But how can you start right now? By starting small. Do a container garden. Grow herbs on your windowsill, or create small raised beds. Learn one preservation method at a time, like freezing, canning, and dehydrating. What type of animals should you have on your homestead? Do you have enough land to support them? Learn simple homesteading skills like bread making, soap making, scratch cooking. And y'all, it's not just for the women. Just remember, start slow. Don't do it all at once. Do you remember I Love Lucy when Lucy and Ricky moved to the country? They got too many baby chicks, and the chicks went everywhere in the house. Before getting animals, you need to know what type of housing, fencing, and food that they will need, and how much space they will need. Homesteading is not a destination, it's a journey. Our ancestors were all homesteaders in some shape or form. When you fail at something, remember it's a life lesson. Funny story. When my husband and I first bought our chickens down in Memphis, Tennessee, we bought what we were told were hens. We lived in the city, and the city ordinance was hens were okay, roosters were not allowed. Well, I had told my hubby that they were roos when we bought them. The man selling them said they were all hens. 8 months later, those hens were all crowing. We had to dispatch all of them. Let me tell you, older roosters are tough meat. We even pressure cooked them. They were tough. Lesson learned. For the most part, I feel that homesteading is very rewarding. But it's not for lazy people. It takes hard work. Even when you're tired, you keep going. But if you can persevere, you will thrive. My husband and I have had many, many fails on our homestead. We've learned lessons along the way. Our first coop here was made out of skids, those big skids that they use for shipping, and it worked very well for a few years until the wood started to rot. We then switched over to using dog kennels. We found that using dog kennels was the best option for us. It was the least expensive way for us to go, and we learned over the years how to protect our chickens from predators. So we use hardware wire around the outside perimeters of our dog pens, and then we purchased clear tarps off of Amazon so that light would get inside the coops. They get plenty of air circulation, and my husband has redone the roosting bars and nest boxes in there several times to get it to where he was satisfied with the way that it was set up. We pasture raise our turkeys, ducks, and chickens, but you may not have the space to do that. When we lived in Memphis, we took old pallets and made a coop that was enclosed, and then we had a run area outside that coop area that the chickens could get out and get some sunlight. So you just build your coop the best you can, but this was actually better than going to Tractor Supply and spending hundreds of dollars on a little bitty coop that is not going to be enough housing for your chickens. Because if you buy 2 chickens, pretty soon you will have 40 chickens. And then you will have 100 chickens like we do. When we first started raising chickens, a 50-pound bag of chicken feed, laying mash was $6 a bag. We are currently paying $13 a bag, but in most places it's a lot more expensive. We buy from our Amish, and we save money by doing that. So you need to find your resources and find the best ways to feed your flocks if you decide to raise chickens, turkeys, or ducks. Turkeys need more protein than chickens do. Ducks may have some issues with vitamins and minerals, and you may have to supplement some brewer's yeast or give them a higher protein feed temporarily. And then you got to deal with the excess roosters if you're raising your own chickens, what to do with them, too much rooster love on your hens, and just in general what chickens do throughout the day. There is a pecking order. There is being henpecked, and I think it's because the roosters attack the chickens, to be honest with you. And then the turkeys, if you have more than one tom, they will fight. We have learned a lot of lessons over the years. We were thinking about getting some guineas, but then we found out that guineas and ducks don't get along and will kill one another. So we have stuck with the ducks for now. We may get guineas in the future and keep them in a separate pen. Raising chickens can be very easy and rewarding. However, they all come with their own set of problems. Knowing what type of feed to give them, where to buy your feed is very, very important. We shop around because the price of feed has gone up tremendously and the size of the bags has gone down in the commercial settings. We buy our chicken feed from our local Amish farmer to help support their families, and they get it from a local feed store. But we do amend it. It is cracked corn for the most part. It has other things in it, but it's cracked corn for the most part. So we amend ours with cleaned wheat or cleaned oats and black seed sunflower seeds that is very beneficial to them. We also give them oregano and some other herbs and red pepper flakes for many, many health reasons. And we feed them pumpkin in the fall, and the pumpkin seeds are a natural dewormer. So we've learned a few tricks over the years of how to care for our chickens. We then added our ducks, and ducks can pretty much eat chicken feed. However, they do have some nutritional deficiencies with the chicken feed, so you need to be aware of that. So occasionally we will give them a 24% protein food mixed in with the feed, and we will give them brewer's yeast mixed in with the feed because niacin and some of the other things might be lacking. We've had several injured ducks this year that we've had to care for, and some that had some nutritional deficiencies, so we had to find what works for us. Turkeys, they take a little more care as well, and they need a higher protein food, but you can feed them the higher protein food mixed in with the regular chicken feed. You can start homesteading today right where you are. Start small, start a small garden, buy a chicken and collect its eggs. Buy a canner, canning jars, and start preserving. Start small and build on your skills. My grandparents lived in a log cabin, no running water or indoor plumbing, but they thrived on faith, love, and a whole lot of grit. You can too. Stay tuned. Our next podcast will be on choosing your first homestead project. Our podcasts are Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please be sure to smash the bells and thumbs. Share this out if you find it beneficial. I'm in my homestead, chasing a chicken, hanging out with my hubby, preserving what I can, grow slow mornings, less is more lifestyle. There's new content Monday through Friday on my channel. Also, I want to thank you, channel friends, for every comment and like. It's so important, and you are so loved. In closing, remember Galatians 6:9, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Thank you so much for your support.